Welcome to the Digi-Wave 400 Introduction to Fundamentals and Advanced Settings tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll introduce you to the Digi-Wave 400 series devices, review their functions, and show you how to configure them. The Digi-Wave communication system makes it easy for users to wirelessly talk and listen to each other in a range of situations: training sessions, presentations, conferences, tours, and more. Whether you need one-way communication, two-way conversations, or even interpretation, Digi-Wave is a flexible solution designed to fit your needs. The Digi-Wave 400 series includes two types of devices: transceivers and receivers. Transceivers are two-way devices. They can both transmit and receive audio over radio frequencies. Receivers, on the other hand, are one-way devices designed only to receive audio. They cannot transmit. Now, let's take a look at the Digi-Wave 400 series devices. The Digi-Wave DLT400 transceiver features a built-in microphone, a 3.5mm TRRS port for Williams AV mic headset combos, and a USB-C port for fast charging and adjustable line level audio input or output when used in combination with our Digi-Wave Connect DWD401. Every Digi-Wave communication group requires at least one transceiver, no matter the mode or application, and you can have up to 1,024 transceivers in a single group. Later in this video, we'll walk you through the standard Digi-Wave modes and configurations and show you exactly how to set them up. Receivers. DLR400 RCH. This is our rechargeable Digi-Wave receiver. It features a 3.5mm TS headphone output for Williams AV headsets and a USB-C port for charging an adjustable line level audio output when used in combination with our Digi-Wave Connect DWD401. The RCH model also includes customizable configuration settings, making it versatile for different use cases. There is no limit to the number of receivers that can be active at any given time. DLR400 ALK. This is our basic, user-friendly Digi-Wave receiver powered by two AA alkaline batteries. It features a mono headphone output and, unlike the RCH model, does not offer advanced configuration options, making it a simple plug-and-play solution. Keep in mind, Digi-Wave groups don't require receivers, but you can include an unlimited number of them in any group. You'll find the model number, serial number, and manufacturing date information printed on a silver sticker located on the back of each device. Regulatory information is also on the back but printed directly to the body of the device. Charging the Digi-Wave devices. All of these devices can be charged using a USB-C cable and charging block, or a Williams AV charging station like product number CHG412. While the device is charging, the LED located on the top right of the unit will blink red. Once charging is complete, the LED should turn solid green. Next, let's walk through the physical components of the Digi-Wave 400 series devices, what they are, where to find them, and what they do. Looking at the front of the DLT400, at the top right you'll see the battery charging status LED. Below the screen are the main control buttons. Up and down arrows, used for navigating menus and adjusting settings. Just below those, from left to right, the power button, which also doubles as a menu navigation key. The talk button, marked with a microphone symbol, toggles the microphone on and off. There is an LED ring around the talk button. When the microphone is active, the ring will light up red, and when the microphone is inactive, the ring will be off. The menu select button, shown as a hamburger icon, 3 lines, and a check mark, is used to access and confirm settings in the configuration menus. Press once while on the main screen to view the current Digi-Wave information, such as the current group number and firmware version for the device. On the left side of the unit, you'll find volume up and volume down buttons marked with plus and minus symbols. At the top, there's a 3.5mm TRRS port labeled with a headphone and microphone icon used for headset connections. And at the bottom, you'll see the USB-C port for charging. Next, let's compare the DLR400 RCH receiver. The DLR400 RCH looks almost identical to the DLT400, but with a few key differences. It does not have a talk button, since it's a one-way receiver. The back panel is black compared to the DLT400's gray back panel. All other buttons, including navigation and volume, function the same way as on the DLT400. Lastly, let's look at the DLR400 ALK receiver. As mentioned earlier, the DLR400 ALK is a simpler, battery-powered version, but it still includes many of the same controls, just in a slightly different layout. On the front of the device, you'll see the LCD display at the top. Just below the screen are two indicator LEDs. Beneath the LEDs are the navigation and control buttons from left to right. There are up and down arrows for channel selection, the power button, volume up and down buttons which also function for adjusting settings when applicable. At the top, there's a mono headphone output. On the back, you'll find the battery drawer which slides off to access the AA battery compartment. Let's power on a DLT400 transceiver and take a closer look at the icons and information shown on the screen. Powering on. To turn the device on, press and hold the power button. As the device boots up, you'll see a splash screen featuring the Williams AV logo. On this screen, take note of two key details. In the bottom left corner, you'll see the model number. In the bottom right corner, the firmware version is displayed. Once the boot up is complete, you'll be taken to the main configuration display, which provides a snapshot of the device's current status. On the top right, the battery icon showing current battery status. In the top center, the current mode you're in, for example, interpret, tour, or intercom. On the top left, if this is your first time powering on the device, this area might be blank for now. Once the device is configured, this is where the signal strength indicator will appear. Center of the screen. This will be either the current communication channel or group number, or the current time, depending upon how you choose to configure the device. We'll go over this option later in this video. Bottom center. Similar to the center section of the display, this is dependent on your choice during configuration, which we'll cover a little later. Bottom left, the communication role of the device, such as master or guest. We'll go into more detail about these roles in the configuration section. And on the bottom right, a square box with a number inside. This is the live mic indicator. It displays how many microphones are currently active within the group on this channel. For instance, if 3 people's microphones are active, the number 3 will be displayed in the box. DigiWave offers 5 standard modes which are available to all DigiWave 400 series devices. Modes are predefined communication configurations that users can tailor preferences for specific scenarios. A mode selection is required for DigiWave group to work. Let's go over the 5 standard DigiWave modes. Intercom. Consider a small security group at a casino or nightclub, or a small event catering team. These are great scenarios for intercom. Using intercom mode, communication is direct to all users in the group simultaneously, limited to 6 active speakers at a time. Tour. Tour mode is great for settings like college tours, museums, or manufacturing facilities. In this mode, anyone using a DLT transceiver can speak and listen, making it easy for guides and attendees to communicate. At the same time, tour guides can be given priority, allowing them to mute others when needed. They can also limit how many people can speak at once, which is useful in situations where attendees don't need to talk during the tour. Hearing assistance. Hearing assistance mode is ideal for situations like lectures, board meetings, or public speeches, anywhere someone might need a little extra help hearing. In this mode, any user with a DLT can speak, making it interactive when needed. The default tone control is set to 9, optimized for speech clarity. Similar to tour mode, Master 1 and Master 2 devices can mute all guest DLTs when control of the conversation is needed. Interpretation. As the name suggests, interpretation mode is built for live interpretation scenarios. With DigiWave, you can support a floor speaker plus up to 14 interpreted languages at the same time. For example, imagine a presentation in English with an audience that speaks multiple languages. Each interpreter listens to the floor speaker and uses their DLT transceiver to broadcast the interpretation on a dedicated channel. Attendees simply tune the receivers to the channel for their language. Court mode is designed for secure private conversations, like a sidebar with the judge or confidential discussions between legal teams. This mode emphasizes encryption during standard setup for an extra layer of privacy. Because of this, court mode is not compatible with the DLR400 ALK receivers or any 300 series devices. One key feature of court mode is its support for multiple groups, allowing guest devices to access more than one conversation group. To keep these groups secure, you can set a passcode ensuring only authorized users can join. Beyond the 5 standard Digi-Wave modes, we also offer upgrades which enhance the system with additional feature sets. If you're interested, we invite you to watch our videos for the Advanced Comms module and Advanced Interpretation modes to learn more, or you can reach out to info@williamsav.com. Now that we have a basic understanding of the device and its functions, we'll need to configure at least one DLT to coordinate communication within a group. This unit is referred to as a master or main sync unit depending upon the mode we are setting up. In addition, if we're preparing for a tour of a manufacturing facility, we need to establish roles so that the tour guides can effectively lead the group and respond to questions from the attendees if necessary. Step 1. Powering on. To power on the DLT-400, press and hold the power button for 2 seconds. Step 2. Entering the settings menu. Once powered on, press and hold the menu select button, located to the right of the microphone, for 2 seconds to enter the settings configuration menu. While in the settings menu, hold the menu button to exit the menu. Use the menu select button to advance through settings and the power button to go back. Step 3. Choosing a display language. Choose between English or Spanish. This only changes the display language for the menus and does not affect interpretation settings. Step 4. Setup options. You'll now see 3 options: Join Group, to quickly join an existing group as a guest with default settings, Load Profile, to load a previously saved configuration, and New Settings, to start fresh. For this example, choose New Settings. Step 5. Mode selection. You'll now choose a system mode. Standard modes include Intercom, Tour, Hearing Assist, Interpretation, and Court. Let's move forward as proposed by selecting Tour. Step 6. Master or Guest Role. In every Digi-Wave configuration mode, at least one Master or Master 1 DLT is required. Each group must have one and only one Master 1 device. All other DLTs and DLRs will sync to the Master 1 in the group. It's also important to remember the Master 1 DLT determines the communication range for the entire group. Other available role options include Guest, available in every mode, and Master 2, available in Court, Hearing Assist, Tour, and Intercom modes. The Master 2 role gives microphone priority as a secondary speaker over all guest DLTs with respect to the Master 1 DLT, and does not impact sync or range like the Master 1. Select Master 1 and advance to the next step. Step 7. Group number. Group numbers allow multiple communication groups to operate in the same space without interference. Picture a large facility with several tours happening at once. Each group number keeps those tour presentations separate. To join a group, all DLTs and DLRs must be set to the same group number. You can have an unlimited number of DLRs in a group and up to 1024 DLTs. For this practice scenario, let's select Group 1. Step 8. Clock mode. Select your preferred clock format, 12-hour or 24-hour. Step 9. Set the clock. This is only available to the Master 1 device in tour mode and will affect the main display of all other devices in the group. If you'd like, set the current time. Keep in mind, the Master 1 DLT will sync its time across all other devices in the group. Step 10. Address. Addresses are unique numbers given to each Digi-Wave transceiver during the configuration. DLR receivers do not have addresses as they do not have the ability to transmit. Addresses are automatically assigned, and it is best practice to simply accept the assigned address. In some cases, however, manual assignment may be desired. If manually assigning addresses, make sure to not duplicate an address because the address is unique to each DLT. Because there can be up to 1024 DLTs per group, there are 1024 addresses available per group. Step 11. Advanced Settings. Finally, you'll see the Advanced Settings option. If you select No, the configuration will be completed and you'll be advanced back to the main screen. For our purposes, select Yes, and let's review the advanced settings available to the Master 1 device. Number of mics. This setting defines how many microphones will be allowed to speak in the current group configuration. The minimum is 2 and the maximum is 6. Tone control. The tone setting, indicated by a number inside a box at the center of the screen. This setting adjusts the audio quality. 5 represents a flat, unaltered sound. Values from 6 to 9 increase treble, with 9 providing the highest treble boost. And values from 1 to 4 increase bass, with 1 offering the most bass boost. Users who require hearing assistance often benefit from higher treble settings. Side tone option. This setting gives the user the option to hear themselves in the headset, and if so, at what volume. The options are off, low or -12 dB, and high or -6 dB. Microphone gain. This can be used to adjust the microphone gain of the headset or the internal microphone for this DLT. Use the arrows to adjust up or down. The default value is 33, the maximum is 53, and the minimum is 0. The next 3 options refer to integration with the Digi-Wave Connect docking station, part number DWD401. Selections will not have an impact on the device or group when not connected to a DWD401. For more details on using the Digi-Wave Connect, be sure to check out our Digi-Wave Connect tutorial video. Line-in gain. A line level input can be used when connected to the Digi-Wave Connect, part number DWD401, via USB-C. The default value is 5 and can be increased to 7 or decreased to 0. Line out gain. A line level output can also be used when connected to the Digi-Wave Connect. The default output gain is 0 dB but can be adjusted to +4 dB. Power with DWD. With this setting, you can configure the device to turn on and off with the DWD401 or maintain its manual power on and off ability. Auto off. You can select auto off without sync to have the device automatically turn off after 5 minutes if it's not synced to a master DLT. Alternatively, you can choose always on to keep the device powered on continuously even if it's not synced. Sleep mode. You can configure the device to enter sleep mode if no buttons are pressed for a set period. The options are 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 5 minutes. When in sleep mode, the display will turn off to conserve power while the device remains on and synced. Display clock. The clock can be displayed in several formats on the main screen. It can be shut off, displayed big in the center of the screen, or displayed small near the bottom of the screen, which is the default setting. The group or channel will be displayed at the bottom of the screen in small font if the clock is set to display big. The group or channel will be displayed in the center of the screen if the clock is set to off or small. Encryption. This setting allows you to configure the level of encryption for your device. The 2 options are 300 compatible, which uses 87-bit encryption and is compatible with the DLT300. A PIN code is optional for this encryption level. 128 plus 87-bit encryption. This uses AES 128-bit encryption combined with the 87-bit encryption from the 300 compatible setting. This level of encryption requires setting a PIN code for additional security. Choose a higher level of encryption, 128 plus 87-bit, and set a PIN code if the conversation is sensitive to prevent unauthorized access. Allow join group. Here you can define whether other devices are able to simply join the configured group or require them to manually configure the device for the group. Allowing devices to simply join the group is convenient and user-friendly for most modes and situations. Factory reset. The next page gives you the option to reset the device to factory settings. Yes will erase all saved profiles and configuration settings, returning the device to its original factory state. No will keep all current configuration settings and profiles intact. It's useful to perform a factory reset if you're troubleshooting or desire to erase all saved profiles. Save options. Save and exit. This option saves the current configurations and exits the configuration menu. It's perfect when you've completed your setup and are ready to move forward with your work. Save profile. This allows you to save the current settings into one of 5 available configuration profiles. Once you select a profile slot and save it, the device will exit the configuration menu. By saving profiles, you can quickly load predefined settings in future events, which is especially useful if you need to repeat the same configuration across multiple devices. Now we have successfully configured our DLT as a master 1 for a tour group, and devices can now join or be manually configured to join the group and communicate with one another. In this next section, we'll add more devices to the group to mimic a real-life scenario. Section 7. Basic and Advanced Configuration of Guest DLTs. In this section, we'll set up a DLT as a guest unit and review the advanced settings options for guest DLTs. We're configuring the DLT in the same scenario as the Master 1 DLT from the last section of this video. Step 1. Powering on. To power on the DLT 400, press and hold the power button for 2 seconds. Step 2. Entering the settings menu. Once powered on, press and hold the menu select button, located to the right of the microphone, for 2 seconds and enter the settings configuration menu. While in the settings menu, hold the menu button to exit the menu. Use the menu select button to advance through the settings and the power button to go back. Step 3. Choosing a display language. Step 4. Setup options. For this example, choose New Settings. Step 5. Mode selection. Let's move forward as proposed by selecting Tour. Step 6. Master or Guest role. Select Guest and advance. Step 7. Group number. The Master 1 DLT that we configured in the last section is in Group 1, so that's the group number we want to select. Step 8. Clock mode. Select your preferred clock format, 12-hour or 24-hour. Step 9. Advanced settings. The advanced settings options for guest units are P&L or PTT. P&L is push and latch. When the talk button is pressed, the microphone stays on. PTT is push to talk. The talk button must be held down while speaking. Tone control. This setting adjusts the audio quality. Users who require hearing assistance often benefit from higher treble settings. Side tone option. The options are off, low or -12 dB, and high or -6 dB. Microphone gain. Use the arrows to adjust up or down. The next 3 options refer to the integration with the Digi-Wave Connect docking station, part number DWD401. Line in gain. Line out gain. Power with DWD. Auto off. Sleep mode. When in sleep mode, the display screen will turn off to conserve power while the device remains on and synced. Display clock. Address. Addresses are automatically assigned, and it's best practice to simply accept the assigned address. Encryption. Factory reset. Save options. Once you've selected your save option, you'll be advanced back to the main screen and should see the following information displayed. On the top left, signal bars should be displayed confirming sync to the master and reception level. Bottom left is the role, which is guest. Bottom center is the current time. On the bottom right, the number of attendees or active microphones. On the top right, the battery life indicator. And on the top center, the mode, which is tour. When you tap the menu select button, a pop-up window is displayed with the current device address and firmware. Continuing to tap it will take you through the mic gain, tone, and side tone settings, adjustable by using the up and down arrows. At this point, we have configured one tour guide, Master 1 DLT, and one tour attendee, Guest DLT. In this case, everyone can speak to each other, as any tour attendee with a DLT can speak. Consider a scenario where there is a second tour guide or an assistant tour guide necessary for the group. You could configure another DLT as a Master 2 to have both the tour guides with microphone priority over any guest DLTs. Both Master 1 and Master 2 DLTs can also mute all other participants so that only their microphones can be activated. To mute all guest units, press and hold the talk button for 2 seconds until it starts flashing red. Guest mute is now engaged. Notice that all DLT talk buttons are flashing. While in mute, the Master 1 and Master 2 DLT microphones can be activated by tapping on them as you normally would to turn them on. For all tour attendees who don't need to speak, you can use a DLR. We'll go over the configuration for a receiver in the next section of this video. Section 8. Basic and Advanced Configuration for a DLR 400 RCH. Step 1. Powering on. To power on the DLR 400 RCH, press and hold the power button for 2 seconds. Step 2. Entering the settings menu. Step 3. Choosing a display language. Step 4. Setup options. For this example, choose New Settings. Step 5. Mode selection. Let's move forward as proposed by selecting Tour. Step 6. Group number. For this practice scenario, let's select Group 1. Step 7. Tone control. Users who require hearing assistance often benefit from higher treble settings. Step 8. Line out gain. A line level output can also be used when connected to the Digi-Wave Connect. Step 9. Auto off. You can select Auto off without sync to have the device automatically turn off after 5 minutes if it's not synced to a master DLT. Step 10. Sleep mode. When in sleep mode, the display screen will turn off to conserve power while the device remains on and synced. Step 11. Encryption. Step 12. Factory reset. It's useful to perform a factory reset if you're troubleshooting or desire to erase all saved profiles. Step 13. Save options. By saving profiles, you can quickly load predefined settings in future events, which is especially useful if you need to repeat the same configuration across multiple devices. Now that you've configured each type of device with different roles and settings, here's a helpful shortcut to keep in mind. During the configuration process, if at any point you want to quickly skip through the remaining steps and jump to the end, applying default settings to each option, you can press and hold the menu select button. This shortcut is best used when you are bulk configuring devices that don't require unique settings within the group. Finally, in the next section, we'll add a DLR 400 ALK to the group. Section 9. Configuring a DLR 400 ALK. The DLR 400 ALK is a simple, relatively configuration-free device. You just need to set it to the correct group number, select your channel, depending on the mode set by the master DLT, and you're ready to go. Step 1. Powering on. To power on the DLR 400 ALK, press and hold the power button for 2 seconds. Step 2. Setting the group number. Press and hold the up arrow and volume plus buttons at the same time. The word group will start flashing at the top of the display, and a numerical value will display on the bottom right. Use the volume plus and volume minus buttons to change the value, and once you have landed on the group number of the Master 1 DLT from the tour group, press and hold the up arrow and volume plus buttons again to exit back to the main display. In tour mode, you don't need to enter the group menu to change the group number, but it's important to know the process for other standard DigiWave modes that use multiple channels, like interpretation mode. Section 10. Testing your setup. Before going any further, let's test communication using all the devices we've configured so far. Step 1. Power on all devices. Step 2. Verify group sync. Once all the devices are powered on, check that they're properly synced. If everything is synced correctly, nothing on the display should be flashing. Devices that are close to each other should show strong reception, indicated by full antenna bars on the top left corner. If you have any DLR 400 ALK devices, the antenna won't display any signal bars until a microphone is turned on in the group. If you see guest flashing in the bottom left corner on any device, that means it's out of sync. Double check that the device is set to the correct mode and group number. Step 3. Test the transmission. Once all devices are synced, turn on the microphone for all DLTs in the group. Plug in a Williams AV headset to each DLT and a Williams AV earphone to each DLR. With all DLT microphones on, tap or scratch the headset microphone while listening on a DLR receiver to verify the audio. Step 4. Test the guest mute feature. On the Master 1 DLT, press and hold the talk button for 2 seconds. The LED rings on all guest DLT talk buttons should begin flashing, confirming that the guest mute is active. Tap the talk button on the Master 1 DLT. you should now see the number 1 appear in the bottom right corner of all DLTs and DLR 400 RCH units. If you're using any DLR 400 ALK receivers, the antenna icon should now show signal bars. Section 11. Lock and Superlock. All DigiWave devices, both transceivers and receivers, include 2 types of locks designed to prevent accidental changes. These lock functions are especially useful when devices are being handed out to guest users. For example, in a tour scenario, the tour guide may want to pre-configure all devices before an event begins. That way they can simply distribute the units to attendees, ensuring everything is set up correctly and works as intended. Using the lock feature helps protect your setup by making sure no one accidentally changes a setting that could affect listening or communication during the tour. In this section, we'll show you how to activate and manage these lock options on your DigiWave devices. Locking the DLT and DLR RCH buttons and screen. Please note, each DLT must be locked and unlocked individually. Engaging the basic lock. Press and hold the volume up button and the menu select button simultaneously for 2 seconds. Once engaged, a lock icon will appear. When the basic lock is enabled, the configuration menu will lock the load profile and new settings options for setup, and you will only be able to join group. You also won't be able to change the group number from the home screen. You can disengage the basic lock by holding the same button combination for 2 seconds. Superlock. Note, the Superlock feature is only available for devices with firmware version 1.0.4 or higher. If you're interested in a firmware version update, please contact techservices@williamsav.com. Engaging Superlock. Press and hold the up and down arrow buttons simultaneously for 3 seconds. Once engaged, a pop-up window will appear stating that the Superlock has been turned on. Superlock will ignore all button input except for volume adjustments. To disengage the Superlock, press and hold the up and down arrow buttons for 3 seconds. Once disengaged, a pop-up window will appear stating that Superlock has been turned off. Locking the DLR 400 ALK buttons and screen. Locking the DLR 400 ALK will prevent the group or channel number from being changed by the user. Volume adjustments can still be made. Engaging the lock. Press and hold the up arrow and volume up button, which is the same combination used to change group number. Once the word group begins flashing in the top right corner of the screen, perform the next step. Rapidly press the arrow buttons in this order, up, up, down, down. Once the lock is engaged, SL will be displayed on the screen. To disengage, rapidly press the arrow buttons in the same order as before, up, up, down, down, and then press and hold the up arrow and volume up buttons simultaneously until the word group starts flashing in the top right corner of the screen. The device is now unlocked. Verify the group number is correct. If not, use the volume plus or volume minus buttons to change it to the desired number. To exit the configuration menu, hold down the up arrow and volume up buttons simultaneously for 2 seconds again, and the device will return to the home screen. Thank you for watching the DigiWave Fundamentals and Advanced Settings video. Remember to watch our DigiWave Interpretation Mode and Court Mode videos to learn more about the exciting ways you can use DigiWave to enhance your listening experience in a variety of situations.